Good morning. And it is a beautiful morning at that. In fact, by the time I get to where I'm going, it's probably going to be so beautiful and hot that I'm going to regret wearing this sweater. But anyway, good morning. I didn't make a video last week because it was raining. It wasn't a good morning. Not for me. It's good for the trees and bees and all them shit. And I didn't want to make it in the car. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I had the photo shoot I think I was telling you about. Yeah, so I had the photo shoot and it was pretty cool. Like, it's weird because I lived in Philadelphia for about 3 years, I guess, when I was going to school down there. And I literally only covered, well, that's how I am though. I lived in Japan for 15 years. I didn't see every part of Japan. That's just how I be. But anyway, I lived in Philly, and so I followed my navigation and it took me to this studio in this like hood looking place. Nah, it was hood, man. They had like this little part where like a river, like a little like a river, but it was just like a landfill, like just garbage was thrown, and it was like potholes that were like massive, like your car would like fall inside of it. But the owner of the studio was saying, like, you know, it's cheap. And she had a pretty big space there. But, you know, getting there in the surrounding areas, you might not want to be there at nighttime. But anyway, so as I was saying before, I don't remember, but I hit up this one model. And she's like, can we talk? And I'm like, sure. So we talked. She confirmed, all right, I like your ideas. She threw out this price. I said, so how much do you charge? Or she asked me, how much do you pay? Or I asked, how much do you charge? She's like, $800. I'm like, $800? So I felt a little nervous. Because I would have to be like, well, I ain't got no $800. I ain't paying you no $800. So I threw out a price. She's like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, damn. All right. So then, anyway. So all week she's like, so are we confirmed for the shoot? Now, it's annoying, but again, she doesn't know me. But my word is my bond. Only 2 times. And it's not even my fault, but it is my fault. Where I told the model we have the shoot, but I forgot. One time I was able to recover. We just rescheduled it. The other time she gave me an earful. How you gonna lie to me? Like, she was mad. And the crazy thing is, it's not like it was like I wasn't paying her. We were just gonna meet. And it was in the park. It was like a park shoot. She lived like 25 minutes away from the park. And she's like, oh, I came all the way down here. And da, 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 da. And I'm like, I'll get on the train right now. I'm like 30 minutes away. I could be there. But it didn't work out. But yeah. Anyway, so all week she's like, so I'm okay with that. If the model was saying, are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be there? Because a couple of times, like I would contact them, and then the week would go by, and then the day of, I'm heading on out. She's like, well, you didn't contact me last night, so I didn't think you were serious. And I'm like, I already paid for the studio. Like, well, you didn't contact me. So anyway, so I get down there. Now, I should have left half an hour earlier, but because I like to be on time, especially driving on the highway and all that shit. But anyway, I get there 15 minutes early, and as I'm going, I see them pass. And then I call the studio, and they're like, yeah, and they let me in. And then they were already inside. So it was her and her boyfriend, partner, whatever. We shake hands. And the studio, while cluttered, that's fine for me. But, you know, it had a bunch of equipment and stuff. But some of the reviews were like, it's so cluttered inside. You know, people gonna complain. You can move that shit. Anyway, so it had a nice little strobe, some backgrounds, natural light. And the shoot was... there's a paint shoot. Now, in Japan, I did paint shoots before because I got the idea, so I set off to do it. The first time, now the model I just talked about, she said she was interested in having a paint shoot, so I bought an airbrush specifically for her. And she's talking about, you're lying. That made me mad, but whatever. It was the wrong airbrush at that. It didn't have any power, like. So anyway, I had this airbrush, and so I'm trying to do body painting, right? I got this airbrush. First paint I bought was acrylic paint. You can't use acrylic paint inside an airbrush that has no power. So that didn't work. The one shoot I did do with the acrylic, like it was like flaking off. The model's like, I don't like it, it's flaking. It looks like if you had sunburn, it kind of looked like that. She's like, I don't like it, it's gross. So then for that model, I bought I bought 25 bottles of latex paint. But then I didn't see that model for like a whole year and a half. So in the interim, I started doing these latex type shoots. Now latex is cool, but if it gets on your clothes, it's basically ruined. If it gets in your hair, it's basically ruined. Unless you get it out real quickly. They were fun, a little messy. But unfortunately, latex isn't the right paint for everybody, because there were some models that were hairy, told them to shave. And when latex dries, again, you can't get it off. And they were in pain. My bad. So anyway, now we're back in the States. And I Googled how to do like body paint, and I found like this body powder. And you just add some. Oh, and before the latex, I was doing like glitter shoots where I would have them put body baby oil. Am I saying baby lotion? Baby oil? I think it's baby oil. These cars are whipping. But so they would put this baby oil on them, and then we would like throw glitter on them, which would just fall onto the ground. It was a mess. All right. Anyway, so now I found this powder, and you mix it with this alcohol solution, and then you just paint it, and it sticks and it dries, and it's more or less permanent until you like take a shower and scrub that shit off. And it's like, if I would have known, but I didn't know, because I did ask people. I went around asking. It's like, if you knew, you knew. So anyway, we did that shoot, and she was really happy. She's like, wow, this is so cool. And it was. Like, it just kind of wipes on, and then it sticks. But it takes a while, and I didn't know how long it would take to clean off, so I only painted like a quarter of her body. I took some shots, and let me know if you want to see my artwork. Don't want to push it on you guys, you know. But it's that yellow bird. That yellow bird is nice. Looking like there's another one. Anyway, so then there's another one. And another one. We got yellow bird cities out here. Black and yellow. What are these birds? I need to come out here with my camera. They're so cute. I want to show you, but I got this phone. It's not like you're going to be able to see it. Here, can you see it? I've never seen this kind of bird before. I'm going to come out here tomorrow. I don't got to zoom. Anyway, focus. So, yeah, we're doing the shoot, and everyone is happy with the results of this paint, because it's like liquid metallic that you just paint it on, and boom, you're metallic, like the Tin Man. And the alcohol-based solution makes it like shiny. So we take some shoots, and then at one point, I'm like, "Can you turn around? You know, can you turn?" I'm trying to like get her in a position where I could take my shot, and she said, verbatim. She said, well, she didn't say this, but you know what I'm trying to say. She said, "What, you want my poom out? You want me to?" Now she wasn't Jamaican or anything, but she said with it. She's like, "You want my poom out?" I was like, yeah, put your poom out. And she's like, "Bah!" And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I take my shots. Now, I say all that because it's difficult. the history, right? So you got nudes, you have explicit, you have erotic, you have implied. Implied means that you know what you're looking at, but you can't see it because of the way the shadows hit the, like shadows make a cast in shadows. So even though you're like looking at something, kind of like, well, I can't really demonstrate it. So some photographers just be like taking certain shots just so they could be all up in their business. So some models be like making a fuss, but she's just like Clay, just pose me how you want me to pose. So that's a plus for me because I can get in and take the shots that I want to take. So then at one point she just like, and she was doing her own like poses and stuff. She was just on auto. She knew what she wanted. She's like, don't take a picture of my feet because they're dirty. And then she said like 2 times. So when I was editing, I had to like cut off all the pictures of her feet, even though some of them were nice, but she. So then at one point, I have her on the windowsill, so anybody who was across the street looking out would see this naked woman on the windowsill. And her boyfriend comes over and he's like, "You're poom poom." Again, that's not what they're saying, but she's like, and he's like fluffing it up, if that makes sense. It's so weird. I've never seen that before. Usually when chaperones or boyfriends come, they just be like in the corner grilling me up. But he was cool. At one point he's like, "Can I take some pictures of you taking pictures of her?" I'm like, cool, because sometimes I put my camera on the stand, but then I'm always out of frame. But with him walking around, now at one point he's like behind me, he's like, "Oh man, that's a nice shot. How'd you do that?" And I'm like trying to explain, you got to get your lighting, the shutter speed, and you got to get your strobe and da-da-da. Now we're on the clock. We got 2 hours, so I was like, I'll tell you later. But yeah, it was really cool. We had the shot, had to shoot, and then went home. So that happened 2 weeks ago. I sent her the photos last week. She's like, "I love them, blah, blah, blah. Anytime you want to work with me, let me know, blah, blah, blah." So that's cool. That's cool. So right now she's in Romania. That's where she's from. So if she ever comes back, people change up things, but she comes back. But so yeah, that. Moving on. So school. Last week, as many weeks, I'm by myself with the 6th graders. The principal, because there's no teachers in the school that can A, handle the 6th graders, B, are available because they're teaching other classes, or C, they just don't want to be in there. So she was in there, and then I would be helping her, like be her assistant. But then she's a principal, so every now and then she'd be doing stuff. And then all last week, she never came to the room. It was just me and the kids, which is fine. I don't, because when you have multiple adults, everyone is doing what they think is the best. I defer to the adult from that school, the teacher, because it's their school. They know what they got to do. Like when they teach religion, they got, they know what they want to teach. I just be like, "Oh yeah," make up some shit. But anyway, the whole week she wasn't there. And which is cool because it means it's just the kids and I. So I was trying to drill into them some things like just common sense. Like when I'm talking, don't talk. They love to talk over me. I let them talk it out, and then I take away their recess. "Why did we lose recess?" I said, "You were talking over me." But then they know, like stuff like that. Or I think I mentioned before, I found the key that locks up their Chromebooks. So the whole week they didn't have their Chromebooks. The week before they were fiending like, "Can we get our Chromebooks? Can we get our Chromebooks?" Now they didn't even ask. It's locked. You ain't getting it. I even took away the iPads, although I didn't put them in the Chromebox thingy. They were just over there. Where prior to me, I always saw teachers like, "I wish they wouldn't use their Chromebooks all the time." I'm like, why don't you lock them shits up? I was drilling them with how to make a line. Okay, line up. And I just sit there and wait. Now, normally they don't care until it's lunchtime, recess, or something fun. Then it's all like, come on, guys, make a line, make a line. And then I walk extra slow and I sit down at the desk, which I never sit at. I eat a tangerine. I just be eating it all slow. They're like, he's already having his lunch. I'm just like, hey. Now, I can't legally hold them in the classroom for lunch. They have to eat lunch. But I have seen other teachers, this class, be late because they weren't doing what they're doing. I had them walk up imaginary steps. All right, how you walk up them steps? I had them sitting in seats during their recess. All right, sit in the seat. All right, good. Because my aim is, I'm going to assume they never learned how to do any of these things. That way. So, there you go. But if I went over the time to show them how to do it, and they don't do it, then I could start being like, all right, fine, you lost attention, or you lost recess, or whatever. I hit them with some soft logic. I don't like to do this, but I was just like the class was just unruly, loud, and they're just, can't you tell them to be quiet? Can't you? No, I can't focus. And it's true, they couldn't because it was that loud. And I said, listen. And I started naming all the teachers that quit and all the subs that were here before me and what they said. And they're just like, oh, no, that didn't happen. Like, and the other one's like, yeah, it did. We were... And I'm like, listen, there's nothing... It's not much I can do. You guys don't want to be quiet. It's outside of me. Because apparently those teachers didn't... They kind of got it, maybe. I don't know. But I guess one of the components is we don't, at this school, or maybe teachers in general, they don't make a lot of money. This school, they don't make a lot of money. So it's kind of like, why am I going to waste so much effort and energy to do this when I don't make a lot of money? And they kind of just coast. But you can't coast because, like, I rarely sit down at the desk because I got to keep walking around and make sure, because I started doing this, catching kids in the act. Because that's the only way to be like, so that's what we're doing now? Versus if you wait long enough to be like, I didn't do it. But it's like, I seen you. So I got to be on the move. But all week we're together. And we're working on integers. And, a positive plus a positive is positive. A negative plus a negative is negative, which is kind of trippy. Like, how's a negative? I kept saying, think about money. If you gave me $5, you're negative $5. And if you gave someone else $5, you're negative $5. What is the total negative amount you would have? Like, negative 10. Like that. Most got it. And then we go to the board. And then we did subtraction, which was a little harder because you got to... Now, I don't remember any of this. Like, it's really hard for me because I don't remember doing it. And I got to teach them in a way that gives them confidence, so when they get the test, they don't complain like little... Oh, man, the complaining, that is the worst. I don't mind that they talk. I don't mind that they yell. I don't mind that they do all the random stuff they do, but complaining? Oh, my gosh. I made actually, it's 2 points. The complaining and the not listening. Like, I literally write on the whiteboard, I say, get out your books, go to page 37. After this, we're going to do this. I write the whole schedule there. Kids are sitting there not doing anything. I'm looking at them like, what you doing? He's like, what should I do? You didn't tell us what to do. I look at the whiteboard. I say, it's on the whiteboard. He's like, I didn't see it. Like, you didn't see it. And I say, who saw the whiteboard? And everyone's raising their hand. I saw it. And everyone got their books. So you didn't see it? So I got to so I'll announce it. Okay, when we come back from such and such, we're doing such and such. I put on the whiteboard. And then, let's see. Then I added this new thing. I put out these little index cards, put them on their desk, postcards, index card, right? And every time a student says something, I write what they did on this card. And when you get enough of those things, you get a detention or a write-up. I don't plan to do any of that, but at least I have a record of all the things that they did. How I'm using it is kind of to check the behaviors that are not necessarily necessary at that time. So I have one student who always gets up. He'd just be like, boop. So what you doing? Like he's at home or at the beach or something. So I always write on his, stood up. Got another girl, she does that too. A lot of kids, they always walk around for whatever reason. I'm like, raise your hand. Your hand works, right? I got a student who always drums on his desk. I feel like I said this before, but sometimes I talk to myself. But hey, but yeah, so just write it on this card. Even the girls, I don't know who I was talking to. I felt like I told this to someone. I don't know. But even the girls who, in general, girls are, not all the girls, but there's the girls who are doing their thing. But like they might like playing around with the boys. So I come back there, you were hitting the boy. Like, but he hit me first. Doesn't matter, gotta be fair. And it seems to be working. And I kind of keep it comedy-like. So, wow. You see that beat? It tried to get up in my video. It's like, I want to be in your video. But it'd be like, this kid, he's turned around or whatever. So I go to put that, he turned around, like, why are you always picking on me? So I switch it to complaining. He's still complaining. Because that's what I do, complain. But by the end of the week, it was working. We managed to get a test in, 2 tests. We managed to get a nice looking ish line. During lunch, I could separate. Because the thing is, I didn't know what are the limits of my authority. What can I do within? Because we can't stand people on the wall, and we can't do the things that we grew up with. Because, whatever. But we are allowed to separate them from in the lunch group. So I put them way on the other side of the lunchroom. And it is boring. They're turning around. They're looking all dejected. And I'm like, I see them turn around. I say, what are you doing? Turn back around. Like, oh, why I gotta sit over? Because you can't follow the rules, man. For the one kid, I said, hey, you want to be over here? He's like, no. I was like, all right, go back to your seat. The other kid, I was like, you want to be here? He's like, yeah, I like it over here. It's like, you like it? He's like, yep, I like it. So then when he turned around and saw his friend was gone, like, how comes he got to leave? I'm like, because he said he didn't want to be here. You said you like it here. So kind of, but yeah. And then finally, when the kids didn't like their seating arrangements. Kids never do, because the teachers make it, right? And they're all like, can we change your seat? Can we change your seat? So I told them, all right, you guys, for homework, make up a seating chart, and then we'll pick the best one, or I'll get ideas from it. And they start working, making a seating chart. And on Friday, I collect all the papers. They're about 11. Again, this is homework. Everyone had a chance to put forth an idea, which is a good example of like politics, Everyone can vote who's legal and of age. But if you don't vote, you can't complain about how things are. So we got 11 papers and everyone looked at them. And finally we were down to 2. Then all of a sudden the paper goes missing. One of the boys' papers. It came down to the boys' paper and the girls' paper. And then they started saying, they're cheating, they took it. So I use this as a teaching point. Like, you remember when Trump and Biden, they're old enough to know, and it was kind of big in the insurrection and all that. It was within their memory, I guess. Like, what you guys are experiencing is what happens in the real world. So you guys got to figure out how to figure it out. Or I'm just going to go alphabetical with it because that's the easiest for me. Just blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to be in alphabetical. So they are murmuring amongst themselves, and finally the one girl, she changed it to appease the boy. They compromised, and then boom, she's like, this is the seating chart. I said, does everyone agree? 2 boys raised their hand. I'm just like, all right, we got our seating chart. And it was cool. She felt good because she was able to come up with a plan which may prompt her to be like, I can do this, and go out and lead. Because every time I talk to her, she'd be like, yeah, I just want to go home, I give up. They always say that. But yeah, that means tomorrow, because it took so long for them to get their stupid little sheet together, we didn't get time to move the seats. So that means tomorrow I got to get there at like 5 in the morning to move the seats, because it's going to waste the whole day if I let them do it. But yeah, another result that I got from this little seating chart thing, one of the boys, one of the biggest distractor of other boys, he just, I don't know, it's hard. I don't know, he's hard to reach. There's no punishment that he cares about. But he kept saying, I don't want to sit next to this guy. Don't want to sit next to him. Because everyone's always put those two together because they go to they go to special classes together. So they just put them together so they can leave together. But he's like, I don't want to sit by him. So when he kept talking, I was just like, listen, if you can't follow the rules, I'm going to put you with your best buddy. He's like, what you mean? I'm going to put you with your buddy. He's like, he's going to put you with so-and-so. He's like, no, don't. I'll follow. So now I got something. I don't want to do that. I feel kind of bad using whatever. But, you know, it works because they go to the room together. So they should be together. That's how we did it in the other grade. But yeah, man. So I'm thinking maybe I could work there. Maybe I'll teach there, because clearly I like it. You know, when I tell people the story, like, oh, you seem to really enjoy your job. It's not that I enjoy the job. It's autonomy. There's nobody over me telling me what I should do, and I get to test out. You know, it's autonomy. But yeah, so. But yeah, what else happened? I went to an open mic the other day, last Monday. It was cool. I came in a suit. I don't remember. Yeah, I was wearing a suit because one of my students asked me. They said, "Well, how come you wear the same thing every day?" And I was just like, because I do. So I came in a suit, and then I had that open mic the night before, so I went there in a suit, and I performed. And some of the teachers I work with, they came out there too. But when I was performing, after I was done, it's like a acoustic, heavy metal looking group of people, nice people, but that's how they look. And like the bartender came up, she's like, I thought they were playing the radio. I didn't know that was you rapping. And they kept saying it. I thought it was the radio, which is a compliment. Like, it's so good. I just think it wasn't. And then people are saying that my voice is smooth. Like, I got a lot of, your voice is smooth, and so it was cool. I don't know if I'll make it tomorrow, but I need to get out there and perform more, because that's how you build up your performance. Like, I could do my little in the house. I'm up to day 128. I'm pretty good with making a song inside my house and getting it the way I want it. But when you get out into the audience, you know, they're talking and you get distracted. You got different systems. But yeah, it was cool. I guess that's everything. And then the other day, last Friday, Um, in my weekly challenge on Koala, I always talk about it, whatever. The theme was Afrobeat, and the first thing I thought of was that song, No, 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 whatever. You know the one with the song they play over and over and over and over and over again. So I try to style mine to that one. Came to find out that the group, they were doing more of like classic Afrobeat. Footy, I can't remember the name. Like earthier sounding, where I was more, what's on the radio. Anyway, so I did the track that morning. I exported it out, just the instrumental. I went to work. On the way back, I was just kind of listening to it. And then when I got home, I just one take sang on it. Just like, da-na-na-na. Whatever. And then because the deadline is technically 5:30. So I want to get it up before the deadline. I mean, you could always submit it during the show, but I feel as someone who's like, the host is one person. So the host, he would get the email, download it, compress it, and put it into the thing. That's a lot of work. It's easier if everything is just there for him. So I try to hit the deadline, and my song comes up, and everyone's like, wow, I love when you sing. And the one guy, I feel like he's like, you got auto-tune on there. And I'm like, man, I didn't even have that much auto-tune. I had like a little smidge of auto-tune, but it's still auto-tune. But he's just like, I should use auto-tune. Like, he was hating. So I went back to my main mix, took off the auto-tune. Like, it don't sound that much different. It's not that I can't sing. So I posted it on my Instagram, and there was no comments or likes or whatever. And I felt, but first, this song was really good. I felt I captured something, right? So I went for a walk, and I'm just thinking, kind of, how am I going to get from point A to point B? Like, I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. I know I'm good, but how do I go? Well, I just don't know. I'm like hitting a wall, a soft wall. I'm not banging my head against the wall, but. So then I listened to my song again, and then when I got home, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put it on my photography Instagram. I don't usually put music on there, but I want to see what these people think. So I put it on there. Boom. People like it. So next day, I get more people. Now I get people liking it on my other Instagram. I got 3 Instagrams. So I got it on this other Instagram, and it's like, yeah, man, this is great. You're singing. Wow. Why are you rap for? I'm just like, because I'm a rapper. And then on my photography one, my brother emails me, or he writes a comment. He's like, wow, this was amazing. He quoted one of the lines, which, my brother, I didn't even know he was watching or seeing what I post on my Instagram, because that's my photography one, and I don't really post on it. But anyway, he saw it, and he's just like, whatever. And then I took my dad to the bank, because it's open on Saturdays. Not that you need to know that, but that's what we're doing. We went to the bank, and I was like, on the way back, like, Dad, you want to hear my song I made? So I play it, and the song starts off like just a little guitar, and then the drums come in, and then my dad starts bopping around. I wish, because you sometimes see on like Instagram, people are showing their parents, even though it looks staged. But I didn't know what my dad would do, but he's just like popping around, and then it ends. It just ends. It kind of, because I'm hitting the 2-minute limit for the challenge, so just fade off. And he's just like, it ended too soft. It ended too swiftly or whatever. Like, this is good. Where'd you get the music from? I made it. So then, yeah. So then more people are liking it, and then my brother came to the house for my dad, but he brought me some Snapple. I don't know. And then he's like, yeah, I heard your song. It was really good. And then my dad like, yeah, I told him that. He needs to get it out there. He needs to put it on Facebook, which is always weird to hear my dad say Facebook. And I don't think he knows what Facebook is. But it's always on Judge Judy and all the shows he watched. Like, you can find more information on Facebook. So then my brother was just like, yeah, I tried to share it with my friend, but it's private. He couldn't see it because on my photography one, it's private in case my students ever found me, and then at least I could like mitigate the damage from them. So then I put it on my original Instagram, the Rhyming Guide on Instagram that you're probably already on. So I put it up there, and like it was so weird, like the amount of people who liked it. So many people liked it. So many comments. People that I haven't spoken to or seen or didn't even know but it was so weird. So like surreal. So then I go to this event in Stroudsburg, and it was like a black event, black artists, and an exhibition, which is dope because that's where I need to be, and that's where I was. So I was there watching some guy. So I got there early. So I was there, and there was a steel drum player. I wanted to talk to him because I was curious. Is it a chromatic instrument? Because it sounded the same for every, like you'd be playing over instrumentals. So was it a chromatic thing, or is it in the key or something, or is it like a piano? Like, I wanted to talk to him. And there was this one lady in white, and she was just dressed in all white, and she was just like, it was a black event. There was just some beautiful black people there. I was just like, wow, where have I been? So I was thinking, how am I going to talk to her? And she was sitting there looking at the steel drum guy, rap, like she had her phone out, clapping every time he finished. And she gets up and leaves like, Then she comes back, she's right in the same spot. And then he finishes. Then my phone rings, and then this guy's all up in my video, man. You don't see I'm trying to make my thing. So then my phone rings, I pick it up, and it's my friend, and she's saying that she just heard the song and it is amazing, and I'm just like cheesing, and but yeah, man, I'll put the song on the end of this or somewhere. But it's just like, on one hand, it's like, man, my lyrics are nice. Like when I'll be rapping, like I'm nice with it, but no one gives a no one cares. But then I'm like, it was a freestyle thing. Like I'm making shit up, like I'm on the swing, doing my thing. Like I'm just playing around with it, and that's what people are all impressed with. But it's still me, you know? So that was really cool. It gets me thinking here. Because I figured out, right? Like my speaking voice, I've heard that it's been nice forever, you know? My singing voice, I don't have like last night there was this phenomenal singer looking like a what's her name? Jennifer Hudson, like that kind of body shape. Not that all body shaped women could project and sing that way, because there was this one artist I met in Japan who was like kind of short, kind of small, but when she got on the microphone, it didn't need to be mic'd. She could just, but she was just out there just blowing shit away. In fact, when she finished, and I didn't think people did this in America. They're like, encore. Because in Japan, it'd be encore. But it's so planned. It'd be like, okay, come on. But this was unplanned. Like it was out of script. She just was so good. Like she's blown away. But it was cool. The event was nice. So anyway, I came home and this morning I was thinking, let me make another singing song. Let's see how this goes. So I found that if I put the reverb on, so I can hear it, because if it's dry, it just sounds nasty, just like that. But if there's a little bit of reverb, a little bit of echo, no auto-tune. I was trying to test out the theory. Shit sounded nice. So I put on this little guitar riff, little 4-bar, 8-bar loop, and I did my thing, and I was like, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. But, yeah. But that's it. That's everything, man. I made a mistake the other day. I bought something online, but I already bought it like 3 months ago. Because I just be buying shit and not even using it. And I emailed them, and they're just like, yeah, we'll return it. Because it's a digital product, so normally they're like, no refunds. But they were mad cool about it. And I was able to get my money. But also, anyone read A Brave New World? I'm currently reading that. It is weird. Like, the book's not that exciting, because when I'm driving home from work at 3 o'clock, it'd be putting me to sleep. But if I'm walking, it's kind of fun. Interesting story. But yeah, man, that's everything. I'm excited for summer. It's gonna be warm, and yeah. So I hope everybody. Where's the light at? Here, I like this lighting. Yeah, but I hope everybody's good. Let me know what you think about the song. I guess the thing about the song and singing, I feel vulnerable. I feel out there. I feel like I'm standing out there naked, and people are just like looking at me. Like, I don't think I'm like a singer, like singing. But I know I could carry a note. I know I could write, singer-songwriter. Because truthfully, I don't need to be behind, like, if I could manage to sell that song to someone else and they sing it, that's fine with me too. Or get my song in a commercial, fine with me too. Or someone uses that song as a jump off point. All those things are fine. I don't need to be out there singing. But it's just I don't know where to go with it, you know. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you for listening as always. Be safe, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.